over my dead body. I reject this verdict.
Well, I expected as much, and he wanted to come see you himself. He was first to judge.
I said what I said, and I won't change my mind. Go away, you're attracting gawkers!
Not gawkers, a witness. And let him listen. He'll see it fairly. Sir, this liar and thief here stole a memento of my mother. And this witch says I'm supposed to hand my goose over to him too?
Because you strangled mine. And what do I care about some trinkets your mother left you?
Because we already know you strangled the goose, but you still haven't proved that Bogdan stole your pendant.
Where is the justice here?
Why don't you relax and listen to the words of a wise woman?
Well, all in all, I'm sorry, Bogdan.
Come inside, and tell me what you're doing here.
Let's take a look around. Let's take a look around. The villagers seem to have a certain respect for you, ma'am, so I wanted to ask your help with something.
I'm not getting any younger, boy. Talk before I drop dead.
You cursed him, didn't you? Vesna's father. You put some hex on him, right?
A spell. I help people, yes. Vesna had a problem with her father, and believes in curses, spells, and hexes. Is that all? Because, like I said, I don't want to waste time and die here gabbing with you.
A lot of people benefit from your wisdom. They're superstitious and timid, as far as I've been able to figure out. Easy to control, right?
Pot calling kettle. That, my boy, that you can ask that charlatan with fancy dress and beard. Who takes advantage of who here? Bah! The people here are believers, of course. But the spirit in the village is real too.
Is this spirit you're talking about, not a person?
I heard it howling. That's nothing human. One evil spirit here persecutes people, and you can hear it now and then, sometimes. Tragedies attract it, and impure thoughts. We here call it a Bukovac.
But other places probably call it other things.
An evil spirit's an evil spirit. It torments people and turns their weaknesses against them.
And what if I told you I could get rid of it?
I'd say I'll believe it when I see it. And I'd ask, how else can I help you?
Well then, I hope you'll still be alive when I get back, madam. Am I sensing? Now I know that woman's trace. Vesna and her husband both left traces of themselves at Vasily's burned-out farmstead. Lucas sincerely loves his wife. You think he loves her strongly enough to kill for her? You're right. It'd be better to ask Vesna about that. I wanted to talk. Ma'am, please open the door.
Please go. We didn't invite any guests over.
Please open the door. I'd like to have a chat about your husband.
You'd better not be here when he gets back. He's not as talkative or polite as I am.
I know you're scared, but please just open the door a crack and let me ask one quick question.
What do you want?
Please, don't be afraid. I just need to know where I can find your husband.
He's chopping wood in the clearing by the forest.
You've been going in so many circles, your head will spin.
Well then, I hope you'll still be alive when I get back, madam.
Again.
This time, it's a matter of life and death.
How is your search going?
Almost finished. I know who's attracting the Bukavach.
Can you reveal that secret?
It's Luca. It has to be Luca.
Do you still want to catch that Thaumaturge?
Yes, absolutely.
Despite the risk?
I hope I can persuade you to come with me.
That's an enormous favor you're asking me. I hope you'll be able to return it.
I give my word.
Did you hear? We're going to see Luca Bogosian.
I'm not here to fight.
Luca!
You shouldn't have threatened my wife.
Why did you do this?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're the one who brought the Saliter here. The spirit that you all say arrived in the village after Vasily's death. The Saliter is what's making fear consume you all and making you hot-headed. And it's because of your flaw, which has been within you since the murder took place.
A murder might just be about to take place.
Cut off his head.
What?
Tear off his head before he opens his mouth again.
Unless you're the one that killed him.
And I'd do it again if I could. Get out of here!
Here you are, Bukavaj. Vesna's flaw is mine, and you're mine. crazy again, you blind fool.
A little faith, Thaumaturge. Focus on what's true. My voice is true. I am the truth, you see. Look.
Unbelievable.
How do you feel? Are you alright?
Well, I don't think I'm hallucinating, but that means I'm currently facing a crowd of furious lumberjacks with axes, so I'd say I've been better.
What? I'm telling the truth. I do it again. None of you understand anything. It's because of this magician. It's his fault.
The magician didn't kill Vasily. He didn't bring the evil here. You're a witch! To the stake with her! To the stake!
And you, why are you just standing there? Are you just letting them do this? Fine, I'll handle it myself. I did it before and I can do it now.
What have you done? Go. You don't need to see this.
Think, Luca. Your feelings for Vesna are still true, I know that. Hear out her reasons before you do anything.
Okay.
You two better not come back to the village!
As if we wanted to.
Excuse me, sir? Do you happen to know when the train arrives? The postmaster said it's usually no more than an hour late, so it should be here any moment. I got a tougher question for you.
Pardon?
Will this train get me close to Albuquerque?
I'm afraid that's an ocean away, and even to the ocean you've got a ways to go.
Thank you. Ever since I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque, I can't get my bearings. The things I've seen, sir. Places I've been. I just can't get to Albuquerque.
I wanted to send 2 telegrams, one to Warsaw and one to Paris.
Mr. Shulsky, I was meant to send for you when the driver came to get the mail. My condolences about your father. Do you still want to send something?
Did you come to say goodbye to me?
More like to share my fear. Your condition yesterday, after the fight with that Bukovac, it troubled me. I don't think my treatments are having a long-lasting effect. And you don't look the best. Do you feel all right?
I've just heard that my father is dead.
My condolences.
After your treatment, when I was hallucinating, I saw him. I heard his voice for the first time in years. I'm sure it was him. A strange feeling.
Maybe he came to say goodbye. Maybe it was his last chance to speak to you. A prophecy.
I hope not.
What do you intend to do now?
Just a moment ago, I was thinking about Vienna or Budapest and going on from there to Paris, but now I've got to get to Warsaw first. What about you?
Thanks to you, I don't think I have anything else to do here. I had a little time to think about what I saw in your mind. Tell me, Victor, have you ever seen a human skull cracked open on the cobblestones?
I haven't.
I have. The skull of Franz Ferdinand himself, with his brain spilling out onto the sidewalk. I also saw the white steps in Odessa running with blood. A battlefield blanketed in lethal fog, with faceless beings emerging from it. This hasn't happened yet, but I saw it as clearly as I see you now. Thanks to you, I know that I can stop it. I know that I am part of history, and I can change it. Even at the cost of scorn, contempt, or my life. You promised me a favor, so Warsaw sounds perfect.
Warszawa! Warsaw! Warsaw! Last stop, Warsaw. Time to wake up.
It's clouding over.
The weather is like my mood.
Aside from the circumstances of the funeral bringing you back, you hadn't thought of ever returning here?
I definitely didn't expect I'd be coming to my father's funeral so early.
I've noticed you two had certain differences in your views on life.
Yes, especially on my life. But admittedly, that's not a very exciting discovery. Is that all you've learned about me on our journey?
You drool in your sleep. Anything in there about Warsaw?
Cheap labor influx causes housing shortage. Strikes, Jews, poverty, violence, the Polish Socialist Party stealing military equipment. I wonder if there are any political cartoons.
Warsaw, end of the line. Welcome to Warszawa.
I think the time's come to ask where you plan to stay.
I'll let you know when I come up with something.
When people unite, empires fall. Why such a crowd?
The circus has come to town.
These are troubled times. Brothers turn against brothers. Russia has had enough bloodshed. The violence must stop. When socialists attempt to divide Russia and her subject nations, to dent the sword that smote the enemy at Grunwald, this demands my decisive action. Thus, by my grace, I hereby appoint as Governor General of Warsaw Georgi Antonovich Skowon.
A butcher.
Not a popular guy, I presume.
I see you ain't from here. That swine keeps a photo album of all the folks he's had shot at the Citadel.
Before and after execution.
Warsaw! The time for leniency and indulgence is over. From the moment this office is bestowed on me, no forces hostile to the subjects of Greater Russia will have any further right to exist. None! Whether it be brutal socialist subversives, communists, Jews, or other satanic provocateurs.
He sure knows how to unite a crowd.
Pardon me, are you Polish?
Yes, I feel Polish. My name's Victor.
Wanda.
This is Russia here. Like it or not. Warszawa. Время террора закончилось.
Иди нахуй!
My first decision as Governor General of Warsaw. Arrestować.
Great heroes in their sense of timing. Of course, now they're the first ones in the fight.
Samoobladanie, Polyaki. We want that rebel. The loudmouth.
Damn.
What happened?
Be a gentleman. Please kneel and tie my shoe.
I didn't dare suggest it myself.
Can I ask you a tiny favor? The Russians can't find out about this. The military is just looking for an excuse to suppress the crowd, and these workers are dreaming of thrashing a Russian gendarme.
Either one of you confesses to disturbing the peace, or всех забирай. We'll take you all in.
You can't handle all of us.
Can you get us out of here?
I think I'm open to any kind of suggestion.
With a book like that, I'd find out what would convince one of these bastards to let us go. Or I'd take on that self-appointed leader of the proletariat.
Interesting strategy. Who are you, really?
Damsel in distress.
Those don't usually hide ammunition in their stockings.
Can I explain it to you another time?
For instance, I could disclose to a soldier that you came here with ammunition under your skirt.
Maybe we should see who they believe. A respected lady of Warsaw, or a common magician who just 100 years ago would have been burned at the stake.
Well, since you asked so nicely. I'm going to take a look around. Do you think it's a good idea to stir people up and send them to face bullets and bayonets?
What do you want then? My whole life on my knees? Kissing Ruski's ass?
Do you realize blood is about to be spilled? And that it might be mine?
Fuck off!
Do you think it's a good idea to stir people up and send them to face bullets and bayonets?
What do you want then? My whole life on my knees? Kissing Ruski's ass?
I was trying to keep from dragging ordinary people into the fight. They won't expect us to strike first. How many are coming with us?
Let's see for ourselves.
Name?
Szulski. Wiktor.
One of those Szulskis?
Yes.
My condolences. Now, profile.
Thank you.
What you pissing in the bucket for, asshole?
Where else am I supposed to?
Brown in the bucket, whiz on the wall.
You better remember that too. That bucket's gonna last you guys till tomorrow.
Can I use the phone?
What are you staring at, Ganef?
I don't know what that means.
Quit squealing. First time in the big city? Have some respect if you don't know who you're running your mouth at. He's one of them that went after the Ruskies with his bare fists.
I showed a couple of Russian soldiers when I think about the partitions.
I have moments like that sometimes.
And I gave it to some Ruskies in the kisser, too. There's this red-bearded fella sitting there. I glassed him in the face, then kicked him in the bean, and wham! On the floor. And I pinched his billfold, too.
Did anybody ask you? Shut your damn trap. Well, are you from somebody?
My name's Wiktor Szulski, and I work on my own behalf.
All right. Respect.
First of all, I am a Thaumaturge.
Now them I got respect for. I know one really decent Jew from Povishla who's a wizard too.
How about you? You got a foreskin or what?
Is my foreskin any of your fucking business?
Well, no. I was just...
Schmuck. But you don't look like much of a Warsaw lad.
You should not judge a book by its cover.
A tough guy, like a real Warsaw lad.
I was born here. Now I've come home.
Welcome to Warsaw.
I wouldn't call you a master strategist.
You got away from the station, so theoretically, we achieved our goal.
You're not losing your sense of humor. I guess this isn't your first time in a place like this, is it?
We've got a little time to kill. Maybe now you can tell me more about yourself. You seem to know your way around this setting. You've been here often?
I'll take that as a compliment. And sure, sometimes, if the cause demands it.
What cause?
Let's say I know certain folks who'd find poles like you useful.
Dealers in stolen Dutch pomade?
Donut connoisseurs. They met at Burke Rotblitz's cafe.
What exactly do your friends do?
I'd be glad to tell you, over coffee and jam donuts.
I'm afraid all these screws might have more questions and want to keep you here longer.
Then you won't just miss out on the pastries, but also an adventure worthy of a great cause.
Shulsky!
I see you won't be hanging out here long either.
Shulsky, this yours?
That's right.
Then take it and get out of here.
Thank you.
I'm sure you don't remember me. My name's Hayat, Mordecai Hayat. I wanted to offer my condolences.
Thank you.
Please, forgive my prying. I know Mr. Shulsky took nitroglycerin for his heart, but how did he pass away? Was that his cause of death? His heart?
I'm curious myself. I haven't had a chance to find out.
Yes, I understand. My condolences, once again. I'll leave you alone. I'm sure you want to bid farewell to your father.
I think I ought to arrest you, Thaumaturge.
I haven't done anything, officer. What's the problem?
I barely recognize you either. You still haven't figured out who I am? Don't be surprised. The last time we saw one another was 20 kilos ago.
Uncle Voronian?
I will not keep you. That guy's probably all alone back there, among those vultures circling Stasio. I'm sure she'll be glad to see you. Go on. We'll talk later.
Sister?
Victor! I'm so glad you came. I wasn't sure if my telegram had reached you.
I'm glad too. How are you holding up?
All this caught me off guard, but for now I don't have time to think things through calmly. Look at yourself. What happened?
Have you written to Mother?
Yes, but what can you expect? You know what Nadia is like. It was never her style to show up for family events like this. It's getting late, and we've still got the reading of Papa's will ahead of us at home. And I'll leave you two alone. I suppose you've got your own matters to clear up.
Fine, let's get this over with. So, it was me who got it right in the end. Back then, on the train platform, was the last time we saw one another. 15 years ago. After brief suffering, fell asleep in the Lord. Brief? I hope not. Did you write this yourself? A tyrant, bigot, and liar, mistakenly absolved, died after suffering all too briefly. That's better, and definitely closer to the truth. The day you died, you visited me in my dreams. I was a child when you hounded me out of here, and I remember you as you were back then. But in my dream you looked older. You gave me hell as usual. You didn't believe I'd succeed. You were wrong. I've come back with 2 saluters. I'm sorry there are so many things I didn't get to say to your face. All those years, I said them over and over to myself in my head. How you were never able to admit a mistake. You never sought blame in yourself. Someone else was always guilty, never you. Mother because she wanted something for herself in life. Ligia because she wasn't born a boy. Me because I was born a Thaumaturge, but I didn't want to live following your principles. And now... Farewell, Father.
Am I intruding?
Have you been eavesdropping like that for long?
All my life. I came to pay my respects to the dead. Stanisław and I were acquainted. You might say I knew everything about your father. Mr. Victor Szulski, isn't it? Your absence from Warsaw has happily come to an end, I hope.
I haven't had time to think about it.
I understand. I hope you'll find some reason to stay here a little longer. Again, my condolences.
I didn't catch your name.
My name's Kanieczkin. Ivan Kanieczkin. Goodbye.
Such interesting friends you had. I guess I'm more tired than I thought. Great-grandmother Josefina, a Thaumaturge. Grandpa Nikodem, a Thaumaturge. I barely remember him. We can go. The hardest thing was getting the lid of the urn. The scattering I could handle.
You can play the clown, but I know how much this has cost you. I'm glad you went.
Love at a funeral. Arrow's post-mortem. Is it suitable for a young lady in mourning to fraternize with bachelors? Konstancja Shabłowska, the Warsaw Courier. Could I ask for a brief comment?
Hyena.
Thank you. And you, sir?
I can sort it out, but it might cause you some trouble.
It's not worth getting your hands dirty over.
Get out of here, or I might decide you're attacking an Imperial official, and you'll wake up tomorrow in the Citadel.
Are you threatening me, Judge?
I'm actually sparing you from him. Would you rather try your luck with a Thaumaturge? Come on, children. I'm sure my Pietia is already waiting for us at home.
I'd love to see my cousin.
Are you coming with us?
Thanks.
Get in. I'm sure the lawyer is already waiting for us.
Miss, your guests have arrived. The lawyer's upstairs too, waiting. A trifle jittery. Wonder if the tea I made him was too strong.
Thank you, Grażyna dear. Let the guests wait. First, I want to take care of the will.
I'll just wet my whistle and join you all upstairs.
Make sure Uncle makes it upstairs sober. And I'll suggest you don't dawdle either.
Master Victor, good God! Half your face covered, but I could tell right away it was you. You look just like your father in his youth. Completely his spitting image. Should I make you some cocoa, Master? It would warm you up a little.
Make an extra creamy one for Ligia.
Oh, I won't skimp on her.
Now, your sister's putting a brave face on all this, but she's really having a hard time.
It's lovely to see you again.
But that's enough jabber for now. I've got the guests and the cocoa, and I've got to whip up some food for you all later. We'll talk soon.
I don't want to put my foot in my mouth again. I already failed to recognize someone once today, but you look familiar.
Well, I should think so. I was the victim of one of your starling hunts. Voronins must not be very memorable, cousin.
Pietia! Forgive me, and for shooting you as well. How are you doing?
Just some heart problems, not a subject for today. I'm sorry about Uncle Stanisław. Forgive me for not coming to the funeral. I can't bear cemeteries.
We'll have to meet up again.
Goodbye.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. I thought I'd have to drink alone.
So many goodies laid out for the guests. Having trouble picking something for yourself, Judge?
But this was Stashio's. It was special. Amber liqueur with quinces.
I think you mean quince liqueur with amber, right? If it's not here, I'm sure it's in the basement. But I won't grope around down there in the dark now. I've got my hands full.
Now, I don't want to trouble you either. Victor, could you track down a little bottle for your uncle?
I suppose I'm obligated to accept this mission.
Good lad. A nephew like you is a treasure. How did it go? Mission accomplished?
I think this is the one Uncle wanted.
Yes. This is our little funeral battle. We would meet in Stasha's study after every funeral we went to and raised a toast to the dead. And recently, We've been seeing one another more and more at such events. More and more. But this time, even he has left me. So, to an easy death, as Stasio and I used to say.
How did he die?
Hasn't Ligia told you?
I haven't even had the chance to ask.
He didn't suffer, but such images in the memory are better saved for later. I'd prefer to remember him as he was alive. What then? Am I drinking alone? I suppose there's no reason to bear grudges or be angry, is there? Stasio?
To an easy death.
Familiar faces keep vanishing from my life. Stasio and my Helena before him. I miss my little darling. I miss them both. Well, obligation fulfilled. Shall we get to the reading of the will?
At the funeral, there was this sad Jewish fellow, Mordechai Hayat. Do you know him, uncle?
He worked for Stanisław, but that was a long time ago. I don't know him more than that. So, shall we collect our inheritance?
Yes, let's find out what my father hasn't left me.
Let's begin if everyone is ready. Would you all please take a seat? Ladies and gentlemen, by the power of my office vested in me by the grace of His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor of all Russia, I hereby testify. Mr. Szulski's last will and testament were prepared several years ago in the presence of Zaclav Fedorov, Esquire, that is, myself. My last will and testament recorded in the year of our Lord 1888. In the name of the Holy Trinity. Amen. Therefore, my first irrevocable wish is to appoint as executrix of this will my daughter Ligia Szulska. Immediately after my death, an inventory shall be conducted in full accordance with the law. After completing the inventory, all my personal movables will be sold at public auction. And let the funds raised thereby be donated on the anniversary of my death to the beggars near that cemetery. The administration of the remainder of my fortune I leave, without restriction, to the person of my daughter Ligia.
I'm not even getting a teaspoon.
All movables and immovables relating to the family enterprise I entrust to the care and administration of my daughter. I do not prescribe a method of administering them. I merely offer her one piece of advice. I wish that the business should be conducted with modesty, prudence, and honesty, as I have conducted it my whole life.
A joker to the very end.
To my brother-in-law and oldest friend, Alexander Voronin, I wish to leave the following: my collection of muskets and 2 revolvers, dating to the uprising in memory of our first meeting.
Stasio, I will have plenty to do in my retirement.
Enjoy your retirement. Now, Mr. Fedorov, what did my father leave my mother?
Victor, be serious.
Nothing. There is a special item reflecting the absolute lack of any bequest to my former spouse, Nadia Fyodorovna Voronina. I would also like to come to the aid of my only son, Viktor Szulski,
by entrusting him with the use of my personal black grimoire, in the hope that he will be able to make good use of it. This is my last will and testament. Carry it out solemnly, though you may have found it burdensome. However, this last bequest poses a certain problem.
Yes, it certainly does. And what is that, may I ask?
I am not in possession of this grimoire. The late Mr. Shulsky used it up until his death, yet no one left it with me after his passing.
Meaning it's disappeared? Did Father have his grimoire on him at the time of his death?
It was only because of the grimoire that we could identify him at all.
What actually happened? How did he die?
A building collapsed on top of him. I don't know any other way of putting it.
The grimoire. Could someone have taken it?
Perhaps, in all that confusion.
But why would anyone want Papa's grimoire? An ordinary person won't use it. Would the Thaumaturge just happen to be passing by?
Father had all his knowledge in there, but I don't know if it would be useful to someone other than him. I don't even know why he left it to me.
I'm sure Stasio had a reason.
A building? It collapsed on top of him? How? How did this happen?
It was a day like any other. Papa had gone for his habitual walk. Every Tuesday and Thursday, he'd take a stroll to get some space, as he put it. When he didn't come back for a long time, I got the bad feeling something had happened. Then...
we rode there together. An entire wall of a tenement had collapsed. There were 3 victims, including Stasio, who had the bad luck to simply be walking by. To see him there in that condition, it's beyond description.
Where did it happen? Where was this building?
The southern part of Śródmieście, not far from the police station. Anyway, you can miss it.
Of all the possibilities, this was the death that fate prepared for him.
I foresaw a slightly more pleasant end for him, myself. I doubt even he deserved such a horrible death.
Those might be the kindest words you've ever said on the subject of a father.
How typical of his sort of person to keep a portrait in his study of a family that was only a family on canvas. Not long after the painting was done, he got divorced, ruined the Nijitas, and kicked out his son. But there the portrait hangs, as if family meant anything at all.
I don't know what exactly happened with Aboritse, but I know that Papa felt guilty. You don't want to forgive him even now that he's gone?
The dead need no forgiving. And as for forgetting, I don't know how. It's just a shame about the grimoire.
What do you intend to do?
Father evidently knew a certain Ivan Konieczkin. Have you heard anything about him?
Konieczkin? No, doesn't ring a bell.
All sorts of people came to Papa's store. That doesn't mean every one of them might know something about the grimoire.
That's true. You've got your work cut out for you.
And Mordechai Chayat? Could that be a lead?
I don't think so. He worked with Father, but he left more than a year ago. I don't know why. He was an assistant at my store.
Do you know where I might find him?
Sadly, no.
Do you have any other ideas?
I think we have to look for the answer in the place where it happened.
With your sight, you can make out more in those ruins than I, or Uncle, or Detective could. This is a good lead, but is it the only one?
And where are Father's things at the moment?
You're standing at the very center of his kingdom. Not everything has been sorted through yet, but you go right ahead.
In the store? I should check that too.
I've started stock taking there to distract myself, and I don't want you to go in there before I've finished.
As you wish. Now at least I can see how little I know. Maybe these scraps of information will lead me somewhere.
Well, now that we know what's got to be figured out, forgive me, my darlings. I'm going to give my old bones a rest.
I'll see you out.
Goodbye, Uncle. And, Ligia. I'm sorry it happened this way. That I wasn't close by.
The most important thing is you're here now.
How do you find our old stomping ground? Yes, I'm not too fond of this place either. This is where I had my last conversation with my father, just before I left. If you can call it a conversation. Can you see my dreams? Nightmares, actually. Ever since I decided to come back, I keep reliving the same memory. The loan shark incident. I've been seeing his death more and more lately. I wonder if his shop is still there. Perhaps we should go there and check.